So most shops have a router table, ours included. This is her. The only problem is we broke it, because that's what we do around here. So we're gonna build a new one while we wait on parts to fix this one. We like having two anyway, and we could use some better storage, because yeah, that. First things first, let's build the top. All right, children, so we're going a little bit oversized on this one, because we have the room, and I like to party.
I'm the only one who parties.
We're using MDF on the top because MDF's a little bit flatter and smoother than the plywood we have, and also it's got a lot more heft to it. So we're gonna double lam some MDF. Top's about 36 inches wide by about, I mean, it's exactly 36 inches wide. And then we'll do a double lamination here, get that going. And then we'll start working on this carcass. I need a saw!
You know what they say. Wham bam double lamb.
Wham bam double lamb, wham bam double lamb, wham bam double. So we have a veneer bag because I'm fancy as hell. So I'm gonna use that to glue this sucker up. Now, you could easily just use every clamp you have in your shop, but if you're gonna build this with the plan, I'd advise doing this part first so then you can still work on the other stuff going on. The veneer bag for us is just an easy cheat code. You can just put weights on it or whatever you got. Let's roll. So we're gonna put the carcass together. I recently snagged up this Safety Speed pocket hole machine. We've been doing a lot of pocket holes, and I wanted to get a little bit of a cleaner hole. You can see here, a lot cleaner than a regular pocket hole. And get this thing at Woodcraft to sponsor this build. So we're gonna rip through the pocket holes for this project on this. You can use whatever machine you got, doesn't matter. This thing's sweet. Throw this carcass together. Here's a tip for you children out there, or adults. Remember, I'm a child. These wooden, whatever the hell they're called, are great for holding stuff up and down, like this. So, I need these boards to stand up, and I don't have any fancy, schmancy, cheap brand, gimmicky tool thing. So I use them this way. So I want this box to be literally as strong as possible. Glue's not really necessary here. I'm gonna do it anyway, because freedom. And then I'm gonna do what I typically do. Throw a few pins in it to hold it before I put the holes in. Piece of box.
Boxiest box I've ever seen boxed.
She's boxy. Here's a tip from a self-proclaimed professional on YouTube. Batch your cuts, you children. We're cutting at 22 1/4 inches here, which I typically don't go ahead and tell people my secret cut lengths. But if you see that in the plan, cut all your parts at the same length at the same time instead of adjusting it, so they're all the same. Howdy doody tiddlywinks. So here's a little bit of advice from my experience so you don't Jordan your project. Lay out your parts before you start putting stuff together so everything you know lines up. I was just looking at the cut list and I was like, Sam, I think these are too short. And then I realized, oh, I'm using pocket holes, which I never really do, and they need to be 1.5 inches shorter than the measurement that goes into the plan, whatever. They're correct. So, tip number 1, mark your parts. This mark, for us, indicates what, Sam?
A dado.
A dado. This is where our drawer slot's gonna be. It doesn't need to be the exact place where the drawer slide's gonna be. It just needs to be on the correct side and it just indicates a mark on where that cut's gonna go. Next, we'll do this. This means,
Pocket hole.
it means a pocket hole, Pokemon hole? Pocket hole. And this will just indicate here where all of our pocket holes will go. And that way, we know what faces are sticking out, where's going what. It takes 1 extra minute, literally 1. Time yourself. And it's totally worth it to not make dumb mistakes that we've all made. So I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna rip the grooves for the bottoms of these drawers and then cut some pocket holes, and then we'll start doing holes for our sliders for all of our bits. Now we glue a drawer together. So we glue our drawers upside down when we do them. Because it's a drawer, we put a little bit of glue on it so that way it can handle a little bit more abuse. Then I'll go ahead.
You're saying that we are aggressive.
We break everything, yes ma'am. I don't know if you remember that, but it's fact. Yes, everything we do is awesome, and everything we do, we break it. I always pin things first so they don't slide around when we're putting the pocket holes in because they tend to move. So we'll get these drawers slapped together, and then on to building our super awesome, cool things that are gonna hold all of our bits in it. Because I left the back like relieved like that, I can now just slide the bottom in. And the bonus of doing them like this, your drawer box is out of square, it will pull it to square. And this drawer is pretty wide, so we'll do a double screw. It's a drawer! Making headway! Need this router to be secure, safe, and something, and I'm here to provide. She's
Thought
strong.
that was going over.
I knew it wasn't, and I know she's strong. All right, so we're laying out where we're gonna put all of our bits and stuff. These two sides will slide out vertically. I don't know if we're good enough to get a graphic right here, but it looks like this, skiing. So we're laying out our lines. I'm using one of my straight edges here. This is a T-level, but here's the tip. So line everything up, get your bottom edge straight, and then go ahead and just measure across all of them at one time. Jordan's not here to run the CNC, and he also has more stuff on the CNC than a college person has in their dorm room. So I can't even run it because I don't feel like cleaning up after him. All right, we've got drill press, 1/4 inch bit, depth stoppage here, and I'm just gonna freehand this thing. We're doing all 1/4 inch on here on one of them and then all 1/2 inch on the other and make it run. It'll be easier to switch the bit than switch the fence back and forth. Let's go. We're gonna slap this sucker together. I'm gonna pin it together first, and then I'm gonna use face screws because I want you to get all the techniques from this build. I want you to practice everything. Face screws, drill pressing, pocket holing,
Impressing.
impersonation, dancing. One thing that's important here is to make sure you keep your orientation proper. You want them to open to the inside of where you're gonna have things going. So you're one up, one downer. One over, downer. One downer. Fancy as hell. If you want to build this project, you can get pretty much everything you need for it. Woodcraft. They've got locations in I think 74 different states. They absolutely rule. My favorite place for woodworking. And I'm not gonna lie, our store, in person, you get popcorn. The website's pretty good too. So check them out, woodcraft.com, link down in the description. Appreciate you for letting Sam and I clown it up. I'm an idiot. I added stretchers and then forgot to account for them. So Sam actually made the point that because we're using 3/4 inch ply here, I don't actually need these tops. So say goodbye to your tops.
We going topless?
We're going topless. Try to plan it out. We'll mount ourselves a little drawer here. I like to start from the bottom up. You can do yours however you'd like. You can do whatever you like. We're gonna go center mount on these suckers. Check out how nice these are. See this? You know, it usually has those two things you have to move up and down.
Yeah, they're awful.
Yeah, pow.
What?
Freedom? We need to find who makes these drawer slides and never buy any other brand ever again. We've got 3/4 inch spacers on the bottom. This is an 8-inch tall drawer with a 10-inch tall drawer face, which means we'll still have 1 1/4 inches, which is plenty of room. What we'll do, make a little tick mark in the center. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, Sam.
I can tell. What is happening?
This is not how I usually put drawer slides in, just in case anyone wants to know. I got me all excited because we're dangling tomorrow. Oh, if I was smart, I'd lay this down, but I'm not. Instead, I'm gonna make it incredibly difficult on myself. Easier if I just laid her down, but that's for clowns. Ask clowns. Because we're cute, we're gonna put the slides on the sides. So, I'm going to screw them in using a side angle drilling bit, which is this. I have an attachment on a drill, and it doesn't have to be Festool. All you Festool haters out there. We just installed my entire kitchen, and this drill was paid for itself in gold. Need a thinner one.
Idiots with power tools.
I put the drawer slides on the wrong side. Yeah, and I don't care, so we're gonna leave them. 6 in one, half dozen the other. I designed this though for them to go the opposite direction, so the slides should be on these outside walls here. We're gonna still screw these suckers in the same way. Do what I say, not what I do. Okay, kiddos, so 1/8 inch spacer to keep it off the ground. Slide it in. Slide it out till you see the first hole. Can you see the hole? Oh, damn it, tell me. You need to say yes. And then you need to subscribe. Just go ahead, bury that first screw in there. Make sure your spacers stay inside the cabinet. Slide it out until you see the second screw. Same thing. This is also designed that if you're comfortable, you can put the slides on the bottom. Pretty easy to make modifications and adjustments. So now that there's 2 in, you can pull them out, put the rest of your screws in. All right, so I got the grain to match by cutting them like an absolute clown. And we're gonna use this handle template. All right, so I got really excited and forgot an important step here. We need pocket holes in the bottoms of these to fasten that faceplate on. So I'm gonna use trusty Rusty here. Throw a couple in there, and then we're gonna mount the faces, we'll put this door on, mount these, we'll work on the back. This thing's getting close. All right, so to mount these, I'm gonna do a little CA glue. Then I have some spacers here, like this. Boom, sauce. Always a boom sauce. Waiting.
Waiting on the glue to dry.
All right, kids, I'm keeping this thing super basic. We're using our Craig door jig. This thing actually comes in handy a ton. I just got a $2,000 Blum machine that I'm not gonna use because of haters. That'll do. All right, so I hate the way plywood edges look, so we're gonna edge band these real quick with some iron-on. This is the most DIY project I think I've done in a long time.
I did it myself. That makes it DIY.
Why is there water in that?
We're rewiring a suit.
Things that you should know is that there should be water in that. I'll put a 3/4 inch back panel on the center here. Just to try and give it a little bit better backing, because we're gonna put eventually I'd like to put a dust shoe. Something that we could suck the dust out of this hole, because the other one just spewed it all over the floor and made it no fun. And we're all about fun. And so the 3/4 inch will give me a little bit of a better backer. This is just a piece of scrap. And then the rest I'll leave open because they're all sliders. But John, things are gonna slide in them and dust is gonna be there. It's wood shop. Now we screw on some feet. We're getting, don't worry, we're getting a little more of a heavy duty screw. We just don't have any. We've been doing tiny sissy stuff as of late. So I got tiny sissy screws.
Most of the days we're using giant 8-inch screws.
We should build a deck again.
Can we not do it in July?
Can we do a pavilion?
Do you remember having heat stroke for like a week straight?
I don't remember that or the 21st night of December. Now we have our center. I need to get the actual plate. This is the plate. And now I can line this up to where we're roughly going to be. So we're looking at 11 3/4 by 9 1/4. So next step, I want to make a template here for the plate there. So I'm just gonna go butt your piece up. You gotta kind of get them all aligned first. That way, that one doesn't stick out too far. This is how you keep things like this without having to cut them down to size. To make this cool and work, we're just going to give ourselves a little routing template. Blue tape trick for the kids.
Beautiful.
Sure is. Let's see if I can mirth. Mirth. Yeah. The last thing I want to do is seal up the MDF, a little bit of, this is water locks. Just starting to experiment with water locks. A lot of guys love this stuff, but it'll penetrate nicely and then we'll give it a nice little waxing once it's dry. That might be a wrap. That's gonna be a wrap on this one. As you can see, it fits nicely back where the router belongs. We got plenty of storage on this thing. All we gotta do is add a little bit of dust collection into our hardline system. But besides that, that's a wrap. If you guys like this and wanna see more shop projects, I got a whole playlist for you right here.